Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is Ron's Amazing Stories. We have stories that should thrill you a little and chill you a little.
It's amazing.
What you'll hear are adventures sent in by you guys, classic stories from the pulp mags, and episodes from the golden age of radio. We have special segments like Ghost Stories with Sylvia.
That's amazing.
And These Are Your Stories. So settle in for the next hour and enjoy the show. One more thing. You just might want to prepare yourself to be taken away from today. Hello and welcome to another episode of Ron's Amazing Stories. This time we're going to step back in time to the intriguing world of Boston Blackie. He was a former jewel thief turned detective. It is set against the big city America in the 1940s, where Blackie uses his wit, charm, and keen detective skills to unravel baffling mysteries and bring justice to where it's needed most. What we're going to do today is play two stories from the show. Boston Blackie was created by author Jack Boyle. The character first appeared in serialized stories published in the American Magazine in 1914 and gained popularity through a series of films in the 1940s. However, the radio adaptation truly brought Boston Blackie into the homes and hearts of the American public. The radio show debuted on NBC Radio on June 23, 1944, where it enjoyed a successful run until 1950. Chester Morris, who portrayed Blackie in the movies, initially took on the radio role before Richard Colomar assumed the part. The show combined humor, suspense, and mystery, making it a favorite among listeners of the time. With its blend of intriguing plots and charismatic characters, Boston Blackie remains a memorable part of radio history, reflecting the time's fascination with characters navigating the thin line between the law and the underworld. Our first story is the pilot episode of the show. It is titled The Rockwell Diamond. It kind of introduces Blackie, but by the time the radio show went live, he was pretty much a household name and really didn't need much of an introduction. Blackie is aboard an airplane bound for Chicago when the pilot is told that Blackie is wanted by the police. This one first aired on June 23, 1944.
Municipal Tower to Transcontinental Flight 17. Municipal Tower to Transcontinental Flight 17. Over.
That's us, Tom. Check it.
Check. Transcontinental Flight 17 to Municipal Tower. Flight 17 to Municipal Power. Over.
Police instructions. Check and see if you have male passenger occupying seat 24. Passenger occupying seat 24. Wanted by police. Over.
I'm just checking my list, Joe. Yep, we got a man in 24. I'll tell him. Municipal Tower. We have a man in seat 24. The name he's traveling under is John J. Jones.
John J. Jones. Maybe that's his right name, but the police want him. They know him as Boston Blackie.
Maybe you've met Boston Blackie before on your local movie screen. In case some of you haven't, I think you'll soon be fast friends of his. Outside the law is no strange territory to Blackie, but never does he stray for personal reward. although the police, and notably Inspector Faraday, find no solace in his motives and only bewilderment in his ability to remain out of their reach. Meet Chester Morris as Boston Blackie, enemy to those who make him an enemy, friend to those who have no friend.
You Chicago police have been very cooperative. Thanks a million.
Glad to help you, Inspector Faraday. When we send a man to New York, you can return the favor.
Glad to. Anytime, Captain.
There's the plane now, Inspector. See it? Blackie has got to be on it. We know he was on the plane when it left Detroit, and it hasn't made any stops.
Well, Blackie's liable to get out of anything, anytime. I remember once I had him in 2 sets of handcuffs, and the next minute...
No handcuffs.
No, Blackie. Chances are I couldn't have made the charge stick anyhow. Never have been able to tie anything on him in 6 years.
You'll be able to arrest him now, won't you, Inspector?
You're sure Blackie's the man, are you, Miss Moray?
Oh, of course I'm sure. I was with my grandfather when he was robbed and the money stolen. The thief wore no mask, and I recognized him from the picture of Boston Blackie that was in the paper last year. Oh, I'm sure it was Blackie.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep asking me if I'm sure?
I just wanted to be certain, that's all. I've been waiting to get a witness to make a positive identification for a long time.
Oh, here comes the plane now. Do you think he'll have the money with him? I can't wait until I get my hands on it.
There's lots of money in this world, Miss Moray. What I can't wait to get my hands on is Boston Blackie. Go ahead in, Miss Moray. I've been keeping Blackie in my hotel room here until our plane leaves for New York. Talk to him yourself. I can't get anything out of him. Go ahead now. Monahan's in there guarding him, and I'll be right here outside the door.
All right, Inspector Faraday.
Blackie always was a soft touch for a girl. Here's hoping you get something out of him.
Oh, Inspector, you'll never know how important it is to me that I do. Hello?
He won't say a word, miss. Just sits there like he did all the time the inspector was questioning him.
Oh, I'll try. Blackie? Boston Blackie, would you talk to me?
About business or pleasure?
Maybe a little of both. Detective Monahan, could Mr. Blackie and I go over in the corner and talk?
Oh, sure. I don't know why not. I'll stroll over to the window.
Would you please come over here with me, Blackie?
Why, sure. I've been waiting for a chance like this to have a little chat with you, Miss Moray. You identified me as the man who stole $10,000 from your grandfather.
Yes, I did.
You know, you never saw me before in your life, Miss Moray.
I wish I had. Then I wouldn't be in such desperate trouble now.
You're in trouble. You had me arrested because you're in trouble? What is this, a new switch on the Share the Wealth plan?
Oh, please let me explain. From what I've heard of you, Blackie, you're the only man living who can help me. But I had no idea of where or how I could reach you.
Oh, so you made up the story of my stealing your grandfather's money, huh?
Yes, I did. I knew the police could trace your movements where I couldn't. And I knew you could get away from Inspector Faraday once I'd seen you.
Well, thanks for the confidence.
The very worst, I could have said I was mistaken in the identification, and then they would have had to let you go. Only by then it would be too late.
Say, look, let's get organized. Too late for what?
To recover the diamond that was stolen from me.
You've got the wrong boy, lady. If a diamond was stolen from you, let the police get it back. They're in that business.
But that diamond, Blackie, the rest of my life depends on it. I must have it back by tomorrow night. Oh, please help me.
Well, with these handcuffs on and 2 New York detectives guarding me, I couldn't be of very much help to anybody.
But those handcuffs, haven't I heard that you can get out of them whenever you want to?
Yes, but I've got to want to first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm more than sorry. I'm miserable. I knew I had to reach you, and I just messed up everything. No, I'll never...
Oh, wait a minute, Miss Moray. We'll figure some way out. Here, wipe your eyes with this handkerchief.
Thanks. But your hand. You got out of the handcuff.
Shh. Okay, now. There, your eyes are nice and dry. Now blow. You feel better now?
Yes, I do.
All right, then. Let me have your bad time story.
I don't know how I can laugh.
Oh, it's easy. You just open your mouth and close your eyes and think of Inspector Faraday. Never fails. Come on, Miss Moray. Tell me the whole story before Faraday gets restless.
Well, I'm engaged to George Atwater.
Yes?
We're to be married soon, and yesterday he brought me something to look at. The Johnathan Diamond.
The Johnathan, huh? Oh, that's worth a fortune.
Well, George's father has millions.
Hey, Miss Moray, you all right over there?
Oh, yes, officer, thank you. I won't be a minute now. Blackie, the diamond belonged to George's father. George brought it over to show me, and then he had a little too much to drink, and I thought it safer if he left it with me. He agreed. And sometime during the night, it must have been stolen from my apartment.
I get it. If you don't produce the diamond, there'll be a mess. The police don't know anything about the diamond?
No. That's why I made up the story about my grandfather and the stolen money.
Well, when do you have to produce the Johnathan, Miss Morey?
Tomorrow night. George gets back from a trip then. He'll want it and... Oh, Blackie.
Tomorrow night? Well, it doesn't give me much time to work, but I'll try. Call the detective over here.
All right, but why?
Shh, don't ask questions. Just get him over.
All right. Officer, would you come over here a minute, please?
Sure, Miss Fletcher. Well, did he tell you anything?
No, but I've got something to tell you, Monahan.
Indeed, and what's that?
This.
You shouldn't have done that, Blackie. You shouldn't have hit the officer.
You sure would have disappointed me if you hadn't said that. Now, listen. I'm going out the window and down the fire escape. As soon as I get moving, you scream for Faraday. Tell him what happened, that I socked Monahan and put the handcuffs on you. Here, I'd better do that now. Faraday's got the key. He'll open them later. There. Now, remember, you finally worked this handkerchief from around your mouth and screamed. Have you got that?
Yes. Oh, Blackie, please remember that getting back that diamond means my marriage and my whole life's happiness.
Okay. Well, I'm going to New York, and I'll do my best. If I get back the diamond, you get married. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if instead of Boston Blackie, from now on I'm known as Chicago Cupid. Shorty, listen. When a piece of ice like the Johnathan Diamond is lifted, somebody's got to know something about it.
Look, Blackie, I've been out all night on it. Nobody knows nothing. All I could pick up was that a fella named Atwater owns it. None of the boys would touch it. That is, except Duke Walton. I'm telling you, it's as hot as a pistol, but Duke's been bragging that he'll grab it one of these days.
Yeah? Well, where can I find him?
Well, I checked that, too. He's out of town. That's definite. Yeah, he's been gone a week. Now, look, boss, why don't you lay off?
Shorty, I promised to get that diamond back. I chartered a plane out of Chicago last night after breaking out of that hotel room. Young Atwater isn't due back in town till tonight, so I still have a little time. I'm going to waste some of it on a visit to the Atwater house.
Ain't you a little out of your class up there, Blackie? You know they got an awful lot of dough, those Atwaters.
You know something, Shorty? After the way that Morey girl smiled at me in Chicago, I kind of feel like $1 million myself.
Yes, sir?
I'd like to see Mr. Atwater.
Who shall I say is calling, please?
Mr. Jones, Mr. John J. Jones. Mr. Atwater doesn't know me, but you can say it's about his son.
About Mr. George Atwater, Jr.?
That's right.
He's in, sir. Would you like to see him?
George is in? Well, I certainly would like to see him. When did he get back?
A little while ago, sir. He returned earlier than we expected. Come this way. He's in the library, right here. Shall I announce you?
No, thanks. I'll go right in.
Very good, sir.
Hello there. Mr. Atwater?
Yes, I'm George Atwater. Who are you?
Well, my name is Jones, Mr. Atwater. John J. Jones. I'm a friend of your fiancé's.
Oh, a friend of Lee's?
That's right. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, the night before last, when you left Miss Morey, you were a little,
Oh, what do you mean a little? I was a lot.
Well, I don't mean to be personal, but did you stop off anywhere on your way home?
No, I got a cab and came right home.
Mr. Atwater, where do you usually keep the Johnathan Diamond?
I don't know what you're driving at, Mr. Jones, but, well, we keep it here in the library, in this wall safe. Only it's not here now.
Would you open the safe for me, please?
Well, now, Mr. Jones, you're a perfect stranger to me, even though you are a friend of Miss Morey's. Well, you could hardly expect... Oh. So, this is a holdup, huh?
I'm sorry I had to pull this gun on you, Mr. Atwater, but I want to see that safe. You don't mind if I lock the library door, do you?
I do mind, but I don't suppose that matters.
Not a bit. There we are. So the Johnathan was kept in this safe, huh? The combination, Mr. Atwater, and keep your hands where I can see them.
Sorry, Mr. Jones. I seem to have forgotten the combination.
Well, I haven't time to make you remember it. Oh, the safe doesn't look too tough. Come over here where I can watch you while I go to work on it.
All right. There's nothing inside the safe, but go ahead and open
Quiet.
it.
Take that watch off your wrist and put it in your pocket. It's making too much noise. I can't hear the tumblers drop. Come on, take it off.
All right.
I think I've got the first number. Now for the second one. This box of yours is pretty simple, Mr. Atwater. In fact, it's about the most unsafe safe I ever saw. There, that's the second number, all right? Do you want to be a good boy and tell me the last number? No? Okay, be a bad boy and watch me find it out for myself. There. Now, that ought to do it. I'll try the handle now. Well, made it.
My compliments.
Save them. Let's take a look in this jewelry box. Oh, so the Johnathan Diamond wasn't in the safe, huh? Well, what's this, then?
That's the Johnathan, all right. I meant to leave it at Miss Morey's apartment, but I changed my mind.
Open this door. Open it up. Open the door, Mr. Atwater. We're the police. Open up.
Faraday, he must have had Shorty watched and trail me here.
You don't mind if I close this safe door, do you, Mr. Jones? I want you to be caught with that diamond still in your hand. Well, this seems to be my day for unexpected visitors.
Now, keep away from that door, Atwater.
You don't scare me. I'm going to open it. I'm coming.
I'm going.
You'll have to hurry. He's going through the window. Quick. He's got the Johnathan Diamond. He must still be in the garden.
I've got 2 men out there. Maybe I can spot him from here. Come on, Monahan. Blackie! Blackie, stop!
Shoot, we've got him.
And he's got the Johnathan Diamond.
At last. Boston Blackie caught red-handed. How do you like ourselves, Blackie? Air conditioning between the bars and everything. Comfortable enough for you?
Oh, sure, this one's wonderful. I wish you'd try sleeping on that mattress they have in here. I gave up in the middle of the night and slept on the stone floor. It was softer. Oh, come on, Faraday. How about a couple of pillows?
Oh, poor Blackie. Too bad I didn't hear you. I've suddenly gotten very deaf. Isn't that terrible?
You've suddenly gotten very deaf, and you've always been very dumb.
Oh, very funny, Blackie.
Yes, I know. New gag writer.
Last one have to go back to kindergarten?
Yes, and he told me how much all the other children miss you since you stopped going, Faraday.
Blackie, we had to grab you on that Morey girl's charge.
All right, so you grabbed me.
That $10,000 stick-up, Blackie. That isn't important now. We'll talk about that later. But where's the Johnathan Diamond?
Johnathan Diamond? What's that?
Listen, Blackie, you've had that diamond in your hand. Now you had it when we broke in. Atwater saw it there. Where is it now?
Now, you listen, Faraday. You've got to get me out of here in a couple of hours. You haven't a thing to hold me on.
No, breaking into the Atwater house.
I broke out of the house, not into it.
Oh.
Now, see if that's a crime, Inspector.
You opened the safe in the library and you stole the Johnathan Diamond. How about that?
You sure I did? Does that safe look forced? Did you find the diamond on me?
No to all those things. But we've got George Atwater as a witness.
A witness to what? I was calling on him at the suggestion of a mutual friend, Inspector. We were having a chat when somebody started to pound on the door. I got scared and jumped through the window. You know, things like that happen, Inspector. People get scared and they jump.
Blackie, I'm telling you this man to man, we've got a case against you. Atwater's word against yours that you robbed his safe. And slugging Monahan in Chicago. The Morey girl's testimony that you robbed her grandfather. That'll add up to 10 years at least.
Go ahead, Inspector.
All right, I'll be honest, Blackie. Young Atwater screaming about his diamond. Says you had it 1 minute and we grabbed you the next minute, so it can't be missing. Only it is. All right, you tell us where you hid it and I'll get him to drop all charges. I'll even talk to the Morey girl to get her to go easy if you return her dough. Now, how's that?
I don't know.
Oh, you must have it stashed somewhere. Give me your word of honor to deliver it back to me today and I'll let you out. Your word's always been good with me, Blackie. Now, come on. Don't you want to get out of jail?
Well, I don't know now, Faraday. It's kind of a nice jail. You know, air conditioning between the bars.
Blackie, be a good guy.
Okay, Faraday. As a favor to you, I'll come out. And you'll have your diamond back 2 hours after I leave here. But I'm not to be bothered during that time by the cops. You understand?
Bothered? You'll be protected. And thanks a million, Blackie.
That's all right, Faraday. I'll get plenty of satisfaction every time I remember you begging me to get out of jail.
Hello?
Miss Morey, this is Blackie. Can you talk?
Oh, yes, of course. Nobody's here. Did you...
Did I get the diamond? Well, yes and no, Miss Morey. Nobody ever stole it from your apartment.
What?
Atwater says he took it with him when he left you the other night.
But that's impossible. He didn't. I know he didn't. I even looked at it after he left.
Well, Miss Morey, will you meet me by the shrubbery alongside the library window of the Atwater house in exactly a half an hour?
Well, all right, but what are we going to do?
We're going to rob a safe, Miss Morey, with police protection. Keep that flashlight steady, Miss Morey, please. If we're lucky, the safe won't be locked.
Why not?
Because nobody knows I put the diamond back in it when the police pounded on the door. And it was only slammed shut by young Atwater. Well, here it is. There, you see? It was open. And here's the box that holds the Johnathan Diamond. Put your flashlight on it and we'll take a quick look.
All right, there. box is empty.
Uh-oh. Atwater must have seen me put it back and grabbed it. But why is he telling the police that I had it?
And see that I'm not disturbed.
Quick, that's Atwater now. Put out that flash and get back at these drapes. Hurry.
All right.
7, 6, 9.
What are you doing, Blackie?
I'm counting the clicks on the dial. 7, 3, 4, 2. Got it.
Hello. This is George Atwater. I got your message, but why did you call me here after I... Well, I don't care about that. We made a deal. I don't owe you a dime anymore, and you got what you wanted. Well, you have to expect it to be hot for a while. And look, remember this. I'm washed up with you and that crooked roulette wheel of yours. We're all square. And if you call me here again, I'll turn you over to the police. Yes. If I hear of anybody who wants to buy it, I'll let you know. You'll what? Don't be foolish. Who'd believe that? Goodbye.
I think I understand everything now, Miss Moray, but I've got to find the man Atwater just called.
How can you? He didn't mention any names.
No, but I counted the clicks as he was dialing that number. If my ears haven't let me down, I can call that number, too. Anyhow, I'm going to try.
You think that man has a Johnathan Diamond?
Yes, I think so. But you don't have to worry about it from now on. You won't be blamed because it was missing from your apartment.
But you're in a mess now, aren't you?
Well, yes, kind of. You see, I promised Faraday that he'd have his diamond back in 2 hours, and I can't keep that promise. Well, I hope the OPA hasn't put a ceiling on tempers, because if they have, he'll hit it.
Hello? Police headquarters.
Inspector Faraday, please.
Just a minute.
Faraday speaking.
This is Blackie, Faraday.
Your time's up, Blackie. Have you got the Johnathan Diamond?
Well, no, Inspector, I haven't.
You're stalling. Now, Blackie, you've crossed me for the last time. I'm going to have a dragnet out that'll have you down here before you know it, and you're going to stay in jail this time.
Yeah, but, Inspector, listen, He wouldn't listen, Shorty. I've got to work extra fast now.
Gee, Blackie, look, if there's anything
Hold
I
it,
can
Shorty. I'm going to try that number Atwater called.
Hello?
Hello, Atwater told me to call you.
Yeah? Who's this?
I've got cash I'd like to trade in for something you've got. Atwater says that...
Atwater says, huh? Okay. I'm in an old house, 632 West 100th Street. First door on the right as you come in. Get here fast and we'll talk business.
Okay, bye.
Worked, eh, Blackie?
I don't know. It was a little too easy. Come on, Shorty. We're going up there to get Faraday his diamond. Unless his dragnet gets me first.
Blackie, duck down. Duck down this hallway.
Okay, what is it, Shorty?
Prowl car, just coming this way. I never saw so many cops as we pass on the way up here.
Never mind, Shorty. Stay flattened out against this door until it's time for what I told you to do.
Yeah, okay, Blackie. But, who really stole the Johnathan Diamond?
Nobody stole it, Shorty. Atwater left the stone at Lee Moray's apartment and then returned later that night and lifted it so that Miss Moray could report it stolen to the police.
Ixnay, boss. Coppers. Okay, now. Look, boss, why did Atwater want the Dane reported?
So he wouldn't be involved. This guy I called up, the one who lives in this building, has something on Atwater and wanted the diamond as his price for clamming up. Atwater had to get it for him, see?
Oh, yeah, I get it. He stashed it in his own safe until he could reach this guy and turn it over to him. Only you opened the safe before he could do it. And he had to figure out a new story, huh, boss?
Sure. All he had to tell the cops then is that he was afraid that Johnathan wouldn't be safe at the girl's apartment and that he went back in to get it.
Oh.
Huh. I thought it was pretty cute when I put the diamond back in the safe. But Atwater must have seen me. Well, wish me luck, Shorty. And don't forget what I told you to do.
Yeah. Okay, boss. Quick. Come on, it's okay now.
So long.
Yeah? Who is it?
I called you a little while ago.
Okay.
Open up.
Okay.
Well, Duke Walton. Put that gun down, Duke. You and I can make a deal.
Think so?
Sure.
Lucky you're not as cute as you thought. I called Atwater back and found your call was a phony. Too bad for you. Now I gotta bump you.
Wait a minute, Duke.
I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, Blackie. Some friends of mine are coming over with a car to take you on a little trip. Now sit down in that chair and put your arms behind your back. Go on, I ain't the patient type.
Okay, Duke. How's that?
That's better. Now I'm going to tie you up nice and pretty like that. How do you like it? Too tight for your pretty hands to be tied?
Well, yes, if you really want to know.
I don't. I'll give it an extra yank just to make sure.
Hey, Duke.
Huh?
Duke, look under the door.
Huh?
That's smoke.
Where? Hey, that's right. Well, that makes things easier. This joint's a fire trap. I'll scram out of here and leave you tied up, Blackie. Lucky, I guess I was just born under a lucky star.
Maybe. But don't forget, Duke, sometimes stars have a habit of falling.
Yeah, okay, so I'm ducking right out of here.
Fire! Fire! The whole building's on fire! Come on, get out of here!
That does it. So long, Blackie. Me and the Johnathan Diamond are getting out of here, and both of us are nice and safe, which is more than I can say for you, pal.
Now, wait a minute, Duke. I've got a proposition.
Sure, but I got a date. No use trying to bust them ropes, boy. Maybe the fire will bring them through for you, huh? Hey, you did it. How'd you get out of them ropes? Never mind, ain't gonna do you any good.
Oh, yes, it is, Duke. This place is on fire. Go on, try and get out.
I don't have to try, I'm getting.
Take a look at the door, Duke. It's locked.
Sure, it's locked, and I'm gonna open it right now. Hey, where'd the key go to?
I've got it, Duke, right here. I locked the door and removed the key when I had my back to the door after you got the drop on me.
Come on, give it to me. We'll both be burned to death.
Sure, Duke. Here it is. Catch.
Hey, don't throw it like... Hey, where'd it go? I gotta get it.
Sure, you're gonna get it, but good. You missed me, sucker.
I'll sucker you out. Get you for this Blackie if it's takes a million. Oh, hey, you're breaking my wrist.
Drop that gun. Okay. Now, where's the diamond?
Never mind the diamond, Blackie. The fire will both be trapped.
Well, there's no fire, sucker.
Huh?
My pal Shorty burned some papers in the hall and pounded on the door.
But
Now, give her that diamond. You must have it on you. When you thought there was a fire, you'd have never left without it.
I ain't got it, Blackie. When I found your phone call was a phony, I give it to a guy to hold for
You're
me.
lying, Duke. I'm going to search you. Now, turn around with your back to me and keep your hands in the air.
Yeah, okay, but I tell you, I ain't got it on me.
Well, we'll see. It's not here. Not here. It's not here.
Yeah.
It's me, boss. Everything all right?
Okay, Shorty, I'll let you in. Wait till I pick up the key. Now, don't move, you.
Well, it worked, huh, boss?
Yeah, it worked, but... Do you recognize this guy, Shorty?
Sure. That's Duke Walton, the guy I was telling you about. It was bragged he'd have the Johnathan Diamond.
Well, he hasn't got it. I've searched him. He's clean, Shorty.
He's holding out, the dirty heel.
Yes, the dirty... Heel. Heel, huh? You know, Shorty, I think I've got something there. It's the one place I didn't look. Take off your shoes, Duke. Come on, take them off.
Yeah, you win, Blackie. The ice is in my right shoe. There's a slide in the heel. The diamond's inside.
Now, that's being very sensible, Duke. I'll just take the diamond out of that slot it's in and at the same time pull myself and Inspector Faraday out of a great big hole. Well, it's bargain day, Faraday. You've got your diamond and I've got Miss Morey. Right, honey?
Well, for a while, Blackie. Then I've got to go back home to Wisconsin.
Oh, well, can we go now, Inspector?
Okay, Blackie. Go ahead. Beat it. You're in the clear. Only remember this. You make one slip, Blackie, and as sure as my name is Faraday, I'll be on your neck.
You'll be on my neck, huh? Okay, Inspector, but before Miss Morey leaves for Wisconsin, I hope I'll have her there for a little while first.
So, do you have a feel for the Boston Blackie experience? The radio show became a staple of American entertainment. It made a significant impact on American pulp culture by blending the genres of mystery and crime drama with humor and wit. It showcased the transitional period when radio was the dominant medium as television began to rise. Boston Blackie captivated audiences with its intriguing plots that often involved solving crimes and outsmarting both criminals and the police. The character became an archetype for the rogue hero, someone with morally ambiguous past who fights for justice. The legacy of Boston Blackie continues as it paved the way for subsequent detective shows and influenced storytelling techniques that are still used in modern crime dramas. It serves as a testament to the power of radio as a transformative medium in the early to mid-20th century. Now, let's get to our second story. This is the 5th episode of the series. Again, Blackie gets tied up with both the underworld and the police, both wanting to see his demise. It is titled Blackie and the Black Market, and it first aired on July 21st, 1944.
We gotta do something then. We'll never lose that car that's chasing us.
Don't talk. Lean out and see if they can hit a tire.
Okay. Well, missed. Hey, watch that curve.
I'll take care of the driving. Try it again.
Try and hold this bus steady, will you?
I'm doing the best I can. I've been fighting this wheel for 20 minutes. Now, after I swing around that next curve, I'll slow up. Try and get that tire again.
Okay. Here goes. I got her, Steve. She's heading right for the telegraph pole. What a crack-up. Them plainclothes cops in that car ain't gonna interrupt another one of our hijack jobs.
Plainclothes cops. Those ain't no cops. The driver of the car that just wrapped around the telegraph pole is Boston Blackie.
Tell me, Blackie, how does your wrist feel, huh?
Oh, just a slight sprain, Shorty. But we're lucky. We might have been killed when those thugs got our front tire last night. I thought for a moment we were killed.
Hey, Blackie, let's stay up here in your apartment and mind our own business for a while, huh?
What?
At least until I get over that shaking up I got.
Well, we weren't looking for trouble. We were just driving along and...
Yeah. I know. Always that and. That's what gets us into more jams.
All right, so we went for a drive. Nothing unusual in that?
No, but why'd you have to notice that big sedan was parked right in front of a truck and two guys were holding up the driver?
Well, I always feel sorry for the guy on the other end of a gun.
Yeah, but listen, boy, if you want to listen to... What?
You too, Shorty. Up high, way up.
Yeah, all right.
I cover, Mike. Okay. So the crack-up didn't kill you guys, huh? The boss sent us to find out. You have more lives than a cat, Blackie.
Yes, I've got 10.
And that means you rats better look out. Hey, that's good, ain't it, Blackie?
It's wonderful, Shorty. Say, what are you mugs doing here?
The boss didn't like the idea of you interfering with that hijack job last night.
Oh, well, I don't like the idea of having my car wrecked either, Stooge.
We ain't interested in what you like. We got a pretty good setup, Blackie.
Well, I'm so glad. That's fine.
Yeah, we got a lot of meat tied up, and we're getting good prices for it.
Well, what do you want me to see me about? What's the catch?
The boss wants to know if you want in on the racket.
What?
Yeah. See, he don't want no more interference from you. That's the catch.
Oh, black market, huh? Well, if I say no, what does the boss say?
He says we should give you a little treatment.
Oh, and by the way, who is your boss?
Never mind.
Well, how do I know your boss is a reasonable guy?
Hey, where you going?
Now, don't be scared, Stooge. You know, I always talk when I'm thinking. After all, you're the one that's got the gun.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, boys, I finished thinking. I guess I have no choice, huh? Well, tell the boss I'll go along with him.
Now you're talking sense.
Well, I guess that makes us partners, huh, boys? Say, how about a little drink on that?
Yeah, I'll take a snort.
Fine. I'm sorry. All I've got is bourbon.
That's okay with me.
Uh-huh. With soda?
Yeah.
Well, come on, boys. I'll build you a couple. Say when, Steve.
When? Look, I gotta hold this gun on you, Blackie. It ain't that I'm impolite. It's just that I'm careful.
You flatter me. How much soda?
Gee, I never had it with soda before.
Really? You haven't? Well, you're going to get it.
All right, give it on.
All right, Shorty, I'll take care of this one.
Okay, boss. Okay, I got his gun.
Why, you...
All right, take it easy, Steve. Now, cut out the nonsense. I've got your gun. Now, be a good boy. You wanted an answer for your boss, huh? Well, you have it. Now, get out of here. And in the future, boys, remember, never drink during business hours.
Say, boss, did you know that it was 103 in Needles yesterday?
That's an enlightening breakfast conversation, Shorty.
Thanks.
Never mind, I'll get it.
Boston Blackie?
That's right.
Sorry to disturb you so early in the morning.
Well, won't you come in?
Thank you.
Shorty, another cup of coffee for Miss,
Parker. June Parker.
Well, Miss Parker, you're a charming eye-opener for so early in the morning.
Boston Blackie, I need your help.
And I'm glad to know you, too.
As a matter of fact, you've already helped me.
I have?
Mm-hmm. My driver tells me you helped one of my trucks get through the other night.
One of your trucks?
Yes.
Well, I don't quite understand.
This may sound a little strange to you, but I have a ranch and I raise stock.
Yes?
I've sold a lot of cattle, only I can't deliver it to my customers.
Oh, I see. And your trucks are being hijacked by that black market gang, huh?
Yes. That's why I came to you. Will you help me get them through?
You know, that's the second offer to go in the meat business that I've had in the last 24 hours. Why don't you go to the police, Miss Parker? I'm sure Inspector Faraday would be glad to give you protection.
I've gone to the police, but my trucks still aren't getting through.
You're really in a jam. Those black market thugs are worse than any racketeers we've ever had in this country.
I've been offered any amount if I'd sell to the black market, but I won't, not for anything.
Of course you won't.
Then you'll help me?
Now, look, Miss Parker, it isn't only helping you, it's helping me. It's helping everybody. The black market is one of the biggest things we've ever been up against. And you're fighting that black market. You know, you're the kind of a girl who's helping win this war.
Coffee's ready, boss.
Forget the coffee, Shorty. We've got a job to do. The biggest job we've ever done.
That's you, Matthews?
Yes, Inspector.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute. Got to finish writing this letter. Hey, Matthews, how do you spell stupidity?
F-A-R-A-D-A-Y.
F-A-R... Hey, oh, it's you, Blackie. I should have known. Matthews can't spell. All right, what do you want here?
I don't know. What have you got here?
One of these days, we're going to have you here, in a cell.
Oh, Faraday, you're nothing but an idealist. You know, I've been lonely. You haven't been bothering me lately. What's the matter? Don't you love me anymore?
I love you anyway. I love you like poison ivy. What do you want, Blackie?
Well, Faraday, my life has been threatened. I want police protection.
You're wonderful. You want police protection, Blackie. Stop
Now, wait a minute, Faraday. I'm serious. There's a gang after me, and they're not fooling.
Poor little Blackie. I'd like to see the gang that you couldn't handle. What is this, a gag?
No, wait a minute. I'm on the level.
Blackie, you're breaking my heart. You've never been on the level with me in your life, so why should I start believing you now?
Oh, so you won't give me police protection, huh?
Don't make me laugh.
Okay, Faraday. That's all I wanted to know.
Blackie wants protection.
No! Got him, Mike. Help me get him into the car. Come on. Let's get out of here. Boston Blackie's going for a long trip.
Well, Boston Blackie, intent on breaking up a black market meat ring, was waylaid by thugs as he was leaving police headquarters where Inspector Faraday had just refused him police protection. Blackie has been thrown into a car.
Hey, Steve, he's coming too. Must be this country air. Stop the car.
Okay, let's get this over with.
Yeah, I'll take the gag out of his mouth.
Yeah, nobody can hear him out here.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I want to get my necktie back anyway. The best one I got. My girl gave it to me. She's a redhead. Says it matches her hair.
You know, it's too bad she ain't a brunette.
Yeah, you just don't like redheads.
Hey, never mind putting on your tie now. Leave it there in the seat and let's get this job over with. Come on, Blackie. Can you talk?
Well, what is this, the end of the line?
No. This is where we transfer.
Okay, boys. What's the score?
2-0, and you're the nothing. Blackie, can you stand up?
Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, you better stand up while you can, Blackie. You're going to be laying down for a long time.
You have a charming sense of humor.
You had a chance to join up with us, Blackie. You nixed it, and now you're getting rubbed out.
Oh, boss's orders, huh?
Yeah, and besides, it gives us a chance to get even for that soda trick yesterday.
I see.
Get over that fence, Blackie.
Say, what is this, an obstacle course?
Yeah, and you're the obstacle.
Hey, Steve. Hey, what's that over there?
Huh? Nothing. It's just a cow.
That happens to be the cow's husband, gentlemen.
Gee, a bull. Hey, if a bull sees red, he goes crazy.
What's the matter? You scared, Mike? Now we got to finish our job. Okay, Blackie? Anything you want to say? Any last request?
Well, I'd like to start running, gentlemen, if you don't mind, and I'm sure you would, too.
What?
That bull's coming this way, and fast.
Hey, he's after me.
Thanks for the gun, Steve.
Hey, let's get out of here, will you?
Don't worry, Steve. The bull's after Mike. You see, I stuck his own red necktie in his back pocket.
Who's there?
It's me, June, Boston Blackie.
Oh, Blackie, just a minute. Well, please come in. I'm glad to see you, Blackie.
Thanks. I'd like some information, June. These gents we're up against are playing a little rough.
Oh, Blackie, what happened?
Well, I went to Faraday for protection. He didn't believe I needed it. Next thing I knew, I was tapped on the head and ended up in a cow pasture playing matador.
Blackie.
Now, look, June, all I want to know is just one thing. You told me that somebody tried to get you to sell your cattle to the black market ring. I want to know who that somebody is.
Well, I can't tell you. I don't know.
Now, if you're being afraid, don't be. I'll see that nothing happens to you, and it's also a little bit important that nothing happens to me, too. Now, look, all I want to know is who approached you on that black market deal?
Well, some men who said they represented a Mr. George Williams.
Williams? Well, who's he?
I don't know him. He has a wholesale meat plant on Johnson Street.
Yes?
But, Blackie, I've never seen him.
Quiet, June.
What's the matter?
The doorknob, it's turning.
Oh.
Now, I'll be in back of the door when it opens, but you keep on talking.
Okay. But, Blackie, I don't know whether I can go to dinner with you or not. Oh.
Okay, drop those guns. Now, drop them fast. I'm right here in back of you. Better drop your gun, too, Steve. Well, you two matadors again, huh? This is getting a little monotonous. How far did that bull chase you this morning? I'm a little fed up with you two guys. June.
Yes, Blackie.
Take the cord off those drapes. I want to tie up these two bullfighters. Then I've got to go over and see a man by the name of George Williams.
Blackie, I'm afraid
You don't have to be afraid, June. Oh, when Blackie ties them up, they stay tied. And when I get through with this, you'd better call the police and have them pick up these mugs. And I gotta work fast.
Hey, Miss Parker. You ain't gonna call no police.
What? What do you mean?
And besides, you're gonna untie us right now. Or else the boss won't like it.
You mean Mr. Williams?
No, Miss Parker. You see, Williams ain't his name. His real name is Parker. Parker, yeah. George Parker, your brother. Now, will you untie our hands?
I don't know what you're talking about, Blackie. I operate a legitimate business here. I sell only at ceiling prices.
I came up here to tell you I'm tired of being kicked around by those two mugs of yours. And also that you're going to lay off June Parker.
June Parker? Who's she?
Well, she's the girl you've been threatening. You know, the one that owns the trucks you've been hijacking. But you won't do it anymore. You see, I'm taking you with me.
You're taking me with you?
That's right. You're going to be my insurance that from now on, this black market gang of yours is unemployed.
What are you going to do with me?
What's he going to do with you? He ain't going to do anything with
Faraday, I'm glad you're here.
you. Yeah, I'll bet you are.
Inspector, my secretary had the good sense to call you. And I'm glad you got here so fast.
Mm-hmm. What's Boston Blackie been up to now?
He held me here in my office at the point of a gun, Inspector. He was going to force me to go with him unless...
Unless what?
Unless I stopped selling meat at ceiling prices and went into the black market.
Now, wait a minute, Faraday. That's ridiculous. You know that can't be right.
I don't know nothing.
Oh, you know a thing or two. You're just being modest.
I'm a reputable merchant, Inspector. I've been in business for years. This Blackie person wanted me to make this plant his headquarters for illegal meat sales.
Now, Faraday, listen. He claims I pulled a gun on him. I don't even have a gun.
It was in his hand when you came in the door, Inspector.
With Blackie, that don't make any difference. He can make anything disappear.
Thanks.
Someday I hope he goes to work on himself.
This Williams is head of a black market ring.
That's not true.
Not only that, but he's got a couple of thugs that have an obsession about my collecting old age pensions.
That's ridiculous. Please take Blackie with you, Inspector. I'll prefer charges.
Now, wait a minute, Inspector. I know I've tricked you, and we've been playing hide-and-go-seek for years.
Go on.
But I've never gone back on my word, now have I?
That's right.
And I'm not going to try any tricks. I just want you to come with me to a young lady's apartment.
Oh, now,
No,
Black-
really, I want you to meet two friends of Mr. Williams. And if I can't prove that my story is true, well, I'll go downtown with you. Now, nothing could be fairer than that.
Yeah, sounds all right. but then you can make anything sound okay. You want me to see a gal who'll set me right on this whole thing?
That's right.
Okay, Blackie. I'll give you a chance to square yourself, but remember, this better not be a runaround.
This is the apartment, Inspector. Come on in.
Who is it?
Oh, it's me, June. It's Blackie. I'm here with Inspector Faraday.
Who?
Inspector Faraday.
Wait a minute. I'm coming. Well, hello.
Hello, June. Would you mind telling the inspector about that black market ring that threatened you?
What black market ring?
Well, you know that the... June.
I'm Miss Parker. And who are you?
That's all, Blackie. I've heard enough.
June. Now, what happened to those two men I left tied up here at your apartment?
Inspector, who is this man?
Don't you know? He says he's a very dear friend of yours.
Why, I've never seen him before in my life. And now, will you excuse me, please?
Okay, Blackie. We made a deal. This gal who was supposed to explain everything claims she never saw you before. Come on, let's go.
No, I can't go with you, Inspector. I've got to find out what this is all about.
Sorry, Blackie. Figure it out while you're waiting trial.
Faraday, will you listen? This girl is lying, and I can prove it. If you give me time.
I'll give you time, Blackie. You're coming with me. And keep your hands where I can see them. Now, come on over here to the telephone. I'm going to get you an escort downtown.
Okay, Inspector, but you're making a great mistake.
According to you, I always make them. So what's the difference? Remember, Blackie, I'm keeping my eye and my gun on you. Get me police headquarters. Blackie, stop playing with that telephone cord. You make me nervous.
I'm not playing with it, Inspector.
Get that wire off my gun, Blackie. Hey, stop you twisting that gun. You're breaking my wrist.
I'm sorry, Inspector. Now let go of the gun.
You're going back on your word.
That's
You're
better.
going back on your word now. You never did that before.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've got to be free to get the head of that black market ring. And put a ring right through his nose. Shorty?
Hey, open up, will you, boss?
Wait a minute. Come in, Shorty. Well, Oh, what are you doing here?
She made me bring her down here to your waterfront hideout, boss.
Well, that's fine. What do you mean she made you?
She came to the apartment and she was crying.
Oh.
Boss, you know I can't stand to see a poor dame cry.
Blackie, you've got to listen to me.
Yeah, I listened to you once.
I know I lied to Inspector Faraday, but I had to.
Well, that's fine. Why don't you tell it to Faraday?
I can't tell Inspector Faraday I lied. I can't.
You can't do this. You can't do that. You sound like the Summer Sisters. Why did you make Shorty bring you down here?
So that I could beg you to please forget all about me and the black market ring.
Oh, well, forgetting about you will be a pleasure.
I don't blame you for feeling that way. But believe me, it's for the good of everyone for you to forget about all this.
Believe you? Are you kidding?
You almost did once.
Yeah, I almost died once, too. And I've no desire to try that again, either.
You wanted to help me when I was in trouble, Blackie. I'm still in trouble. But the only way you can help me now is to drop this whole black market case.
Mm-hmm. And you're the girl I thought was going to help win the war.
Oh, Blackie, please.
Joan, there's no point in your coming here to see me.
But, George, I didn't even know you were here in the city. And then to find out what you're doing. How in the world did you ever get started on this?
Just why should I explain that to you, Joan?
I can't understand you. And Dad couldn't either. When you ran away from the ranch 5 years ago, you broke Dad's heart. And not hearing from you after that didn't help any.
I don't see why you should complain. Dad left the ranch to you, didn't he?
Yes, but what else could he do?
But it's worked out all right anyway. You've done a good job, Joan, raising good cattle. That's helped me in my business.
But black market, George. You call that a business?
I don't go for those names. All I know is I'm making money. And incidentally, Joan, it wasn't in my plans that you should know who I am. And it's your own fault that you do. You got mixed up with this Boston Blackie, and I had something to do about it.
Well, this is convenient, finding the two of you here together.
Boston Blackie.
Blackie.
Well, now who wants to talk first? You, Williams?
I got nothing to say to you, Boston Blackie.
Oh, I see. How about you, June?
I can't tell you anything.
Well, let me tell you then. Williams, you ought to pick smarter stooges. Or I might say you ought to pick a dumb stooge, one who can't talk. You see, Steve talked. With a little persuasion, of course, but he talked. So, Williams, I know that you're really Parker, June's brother.
But, Blackie,
Now, June, that explains a great deal, too. Of course, you made Faraday very happy by pretending not to know me, but you didn't make me very happy.
Oh, please, Blackie, you've got to listen to me. Look, I didn't know that my brother was going under the name of Williams. And when I found out, I was so stunned, I didn't know what to do. Except I knew I couldn't turn him over to the police. Now I know he deserves to be.
Swell sister I got, huh?
Yes, I think so.
Blackie, you said it was very convenient having two of us here. Well, I think it's very convenient having the two of you here. And this gun is very convenient, too. Put them up, both of you.
Georgie, did anyone ever tell you what happens to little boys who play with fire?
Both of you stuck your noses into my business. June always did, and I'm used to that. And anyway, she's my sister, but I don't have to take it from you, Boston Blackie.
Well, you have something there, Georgie. Not to mention the gun. June, would you please leave the room? If I'm right in supposing what your charming brother intends to do with me, it won't be very pretty.
George, you wouldn't.
Now, please, June, do as I say.
But, Blackie,
Please, June.
Oh, it's all my fault. I got you into this. I didn't know that... Oh, my own brother. Blackie, I thought...
You know, June, for a man raised on a ranch, your brother isn't very quick on the trigger.
Oh.
Personally, I'm very glad because it gave me a chance to show him his mistake.
Blackie, what did you do to George? Can I see him?
Well, a little later. He's busy right now, you see. He's got 1,000 pounds of steaks hanging in his wholesale plant, and he's looking for one little piece of beef to put on his eye.
Yeah, Blackie, I guess I'll forget about you going back on your word.
Good old inspector. I had a pretty good reason, you know.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, you broke up this black market ring, and I get the credit.
Thanks.
You know, sometimes I find it kind of hard to hate you.
Well, keep trying, Inspector. You know you're much prettier with a worried look on your face.
You know, this thing kind of calls for a celebration, Blackie.
Yeah?
You and I break up a black market gang, and 1 million people can buy beef at reasonable prices. What do you think we ought to do?
Well, let's see, Inspector. How about coming up to the apartment for a home-cooked steak dinner?
Shall I bring anything?
Yes. Points.
Well, there you have it. 2 stories from one of America's favorite detectives. I hope you enjoyed both of them. Boston Blackie debuted on radio as a summer replacement for NBC's Amos and Andy. Chester Morris played Blackie, and Richard Lane played Inspector Faraday, as they did in the Blackie films. The announcer was Harlow Wilcox, and Milton and Barbara Merlin were the writers. The show was broadcast on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Truly a classic of the golden age of radio. The other day, I thought. Well, it's time for my thoughts on a breakfast champion.
Golly, what a wallop! He rang the bell again.
He's feeling his Cheerios. Yes, Cheerios, that energizing breakfast cereal made from oats. Good, old-fashioned, nourishing oats, all ready to eat. Cheerios gives you a kind of nourishment that really counts. Cheerios is a cereal that really helps you build up strength and energy. So for your better breakfast, always start with Cheerios. Cheerios. Cheerios.
Once upon a time in the rolling hills of the American Midwest, a little oat kernel dared to dream big. This kernel, which would soon become known as Cheerios, embarked on a journey that would forever change breakfast tables worldwide. Way back in the year 1941, when people were still using words like golly and gee whiz, Cheerios made its debut. Originally known as Cheeriots, these tasty little circles were the brainchild of General Mills. The name Cheeriots were soon swapped for Cheerios because, well, it's just a whole lot more fun to say, and far less likely to be mistaken for cow food. Over the decades, they added flavors, colors, and even vitamins to keep up with our ever-changing appetites. Honey Nut Cheerios joined the stage, bringing us sweetness and a hint of rebellion to the breakfast table. Frosted Cheerios, apple cinnamon, and even pumpkin spice Cheerios followed, giving us more reason to love our tiny little circles. Cheerios became an essential tool for parents teaching toddlers to feed themselves. These little rings doubled as perfect finger food for small little hands, further cementing their place in the annals of breakfast history. Today, Cheerios remains a staple in American households. Their simple, unassuming design and taste bring people together in the name of breakfast harmony. From humble oat to a cereal superstar, Cheerios continues to cheer us up, one spoonful at a time. Ron's Amazing Stories is brought to you by Audible. Discover endless adventures and a 30-day free trial today. You can stream or download thousands of included audiobooks, podcasts, and Audible originals in the Plus catalog. It gives you the power of storytelling anytime, anywhere. Visit audibletrial.com/Ron's Amazing Stories to start your journey today. Thank you, Audible. That was episode number 681, and it was brought to you by Audible. On next week's show, we're going to have another old-time radio double feature. But who will it be? Please join us to find out. I'll see you then. If you want to follow the podcast or the blog, head to ronsamazingstories.com. There you will find any of the links I mentioned and how to contact us. Do you want to help the show? The best thing you can do is to tell your friends all about it, and please leave reviews or feedback wherever you listen. Clicking that follow or like button helps us grow. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come again to find out what are Ron's Amazing Stories.
All of the vintage audio used in the podcast is believed to be in the public domain. Ron's Amazing Stories does not own the rights to any of the old-time radio used here. If you hold the rights to any of the shows played, please contact us immediately at ronsamazingstories.com.